Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Northside Basketball Roundtable. I am your host, Alam Darkisat, your source for Canadian sports. Starting out the weekly updates with our grassroots segment. So we got the grind sessions in Toronto last week, a 3-day competition where Canadian and American high school teams get to compete, and this year with the addition of European teams. And I gotta say, Canada's been really balling out this time. Here's a few standouts from the Canadian teams, starting with Fort Erie of Alberta. Mind my pronunciation for some of these players' names. I'm going to do my best, but Promise Nlandu, he had 31 points on day one. He's still been one of Canada's brightest prospects and someone to really look at going into college. Deng Nikor, again, I'm so sorry for the pronunciations. He's been a really good rebounder and scorer. He's been an anchor in the perimeter for the team. And then we got DJ St. Louis, who's been an extremely dynamic offensive player. He's found a lot of confidence as a scorer and has helped the team win quite a few of these games in the competition. And then moving on to the Roller Crowns team, who is from Ontario, and we're also the reigning champions of the grind sessions from last year. So here we got Kimani Waters, who has been one of the top two-way players from Canada, and opening game he had averaged 21 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists. Thoughts how? I'll never get tired of the name Fort Erie. Absolutely love it. You attended it, didn't you? Oh yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun, honestly. Did you get any interviews or, talked to a guy named Gary who was selling hot dogs outside the games. I don't think he really knew what was going on. Neither do I, man. But honestly, seeing these Canadian players play so well, especially against their American counterparts, and come in with such a strong winning attitude, I think the conversations are really starting to shift from Canada being an underdog, and it's really exciting to see where these players end up, and a lot of them seem like they could end up in the NBA. Agreed. Now moving on to our college/rising star segment. So we got some Ontario college games happening this week in Canada. The standing should be right up there. We got Durham of the East and Mohawks of the West leading each conference with 6 wins and 0 losses. Humber College, who was the reigning champions from last year, are trailing right behind with 5 wins and 0 losses. So the current players of the week in Ontario include Mark Dawson of the Mohawks, we got Darrell Miller of Lambton, and again, mind my pronunciation, Jason Sasha of Georgian. Mark Dawson has been on a tear this season, 4 double-doubles in 6 games. Started off the season with a career game, 28 points, 15 rebounds against St. Clair's. Darrell Miller has been averaging 19.7 points this season, 3rd in scoring right now. Sasha has been also really efficient offensively, scoring 18 and then 25 points on the road in clutch moments. With that, we look around the globe to find the Canadian college standout. And this week, our international Canadian lad shout-out goes to Elias Ralph. A forward for the Pacific Tigers, born and raised in our very own Alberta, Elias has been averaging 20.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks a game. Very efficient, a great two-way player, and damn, he's good. Yeah, very. Now, moving on to the pros. So a quick piece of news for the CEBL, the Canadian Elite Basketball League. Al Whitley, who worked as an executive for the Dallas Mavericks, has joined the Brampton Honey Badgers as a CEO. This is seen as a pretty big move by the team in the league, especially with his experience and resources and all that coming from the NBA, could get a lot of eyes in the league. That could be really good. And lastly, moving on to our Toronto Raptors. So the Raptors have continued their strong streak this week, going 3-1 with wins over the Atlanta Hawks, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, which was a great game, and a loss against the Embiid and Maxey-led 76ers. This improves their record to 7-5 for the season. The Raptors are now 2-0 against the Hawks, and with Trae Young out of the lineup for the second game, they did get to see a stronger defensive game by the Hawks, but by the time the second half rolled around, their offense had just completely died out, leaving way for the Raptors to easily take a lead and then a victory end of the game. The 76ers, they've looked a lot better with Maxey playing lights out. VJ Ashcombe has been amazing for them. The scoring of VJ and Maxey, and then the defensive efforts by Embiid, the Raptors just didn't have the size to help them get a lead in the game. And then the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are a tanking team. They're 1-10 so far. This was a game the Raptors had to take care of business, and they actually managed to do so this time. And as of recording, the Raptors just beat the Cavaliers. The first quarter was tough for the team. Fouling a lot, not finding the shots, not finding their offense. And Scotty Barnes, wow, 28-point double-double, led the team. Al, thoughts? Great team, Broski. Any interviews here? Talk to this kid who was really excited. He thought Barnes was part of the Blue Jays though. So, probably thought Barger, right? Yeah, man. But I really do appreciate the Raptors coming in and actually beating the team like the Nets. As early as like the 23 season, where we were seen as like the team that would break the Pistons' losing streak, and we did. A team that, you know, tanking teams would come and have a field day on. So just being able to take care of business in those type of games is really important for the win record. And being the Cavs, that's huge, man. That's huge. Agreed. Yeah, man. The team is looking really good this season. Last year, after 11 games, the Raptors were 2-9 after 11 games, and this season they were 6-5, now 7-5. And with this 7-5 record, this makes it the first time since 2022 that the Raptors have been 2 games above 500. That's a tough stat to think about, but also a stat that makes a fan happy to watch the games this year, and something to really look forward to. And lastly, one last piece of news: the Northside Raptors Player of the Week. This goes to Immanuel Quickley. So Immanuel Quickley really started off the season slow. Shots weren't falling, defense was lacking. He could just not find his passes, a lot of turnovers. But after the 6th game, he really started to find his stride. And this started with his shooting. He finally found his 3-point shooting. He's been going in a lot more. He's been taking a lot more threes. And this has just opened up everything else for him. The spacing for the team has improved so much, and that's led to his passes actually being more of an impact and leading to assists rather than clunking up the perimeter where all the players are just stuck together. A lot of great play by Quickley. It had gotten to the point where a lot of people were like, we have to trade him. So huge improvements by Quickley in the last couple of games. He had 25 points against the Cavaliers. His 3-point shooting in this was amazing. I think he went 5 of 8 in this game. So great games by Quickley over the last few, and someone I'm really looking forward to doing a lot better as the point guard for the team. So that concludes this week of the Northside Basketball Sports. Woo! We appreciate everyone for watching. Join us Sunday for a hockey roundtable. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe for your Canadian sports.